broadcasting to viewers in Liberia and across the globe. Hello and welcome to News Today on KMTV. My name is Anthony Kukui. Wherever you're watching us from, we say thanks for joining our news broadcast tonight. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Foreign Minister Besanga Finlay stresses the need for African governments to formulate policies that will protect and provide economic benefits for owners of intellectual properties in the region. Another indictment hangs over an airfare personnel for alleged rape, but Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia says the record straight. And Vice President Drew Howard Taylor has described young people of Liberia as agents of positive change. Welcome once again to KMTV News. We begin the program in Magdibi County, where Foreign Minister Besanga Finlay has stressed the need for African governments to formulate policies that will protect and provide economic benefits for owners of intellectual properties in the region. Minister Finlay says establishing the necessary avenue for creative actors and actresses to benefit from their innovations should be the priority of the 19 member states of the African Region Intellectual Property Organization. Speaking at the Organization Councils of Ministers 17th section in Magdibi County, Minister Finlay promised the Liberian government's full commitment in ratifying protocols and work with the organization to enhance the laws to protect the IPS across Africa.
Intellectual property is an elusive subject matter to face analysts. It is hard to think of a global issue today that does not have a significant intellectual property dimension. From artists, movies, music, healthcare, innovation, access to medicine, climate change, and the development of green technology, intellectual property is central to those issues. This is one of the reasons why we have ratified the WTO, main legal instrument including trade facilitation agreement and almost all WAPO and ARIPO protocols and treaties. Liberia will continue to provide full support to our Intellectual Property Office to ratify the remaining instruments that are yet to be ratified. Africa needs good IP regime to maximize its youthful potential. You all will agree that Africa is the leading continent in creativity. It is important that we as a political actors formulate policies that will provide legal space for IT instruments to get commercial recognition. No creator in Africa must be requested to provide collateral of tangible assets before acquiring loans at its own African banks. African government must develop policies and adopt laws that are IP friendly. In the case of Liberia, the government of Liberia have taken substantial steps in this direction.
Meanwhile, the Director General for Corporate Strategies and Services at the Canadian Intellectual Property Office challenged ARIPO members to work collectively to develop, protect, and commercialize the beautiful ideas of innovators. For her part, former chairman of the Council of Ministers of ARIPO, Brett Saka, outlined some of the achievements during his administration, including registration for IP rights, among others. But first is the Director General for Corporate Strategies and Services at the Canadian Intellectual Property Office, followed by Brett Saka.
My aim here is to further strengthen Canada's relationship with countries with a common commitment to improve the international IP framework. By working together, we have an opportunity to create a global IP system that makes it easier for businesses, creators, inventors, innovators to develop, protect, and commercialize their ideas and bring them to market. In recent years, countries in Africa have achieved amongst the fastest and sustained rates of economic growth in the world. This, combined with the rapid expanding youth population, is making it even more important for countries in Africa to find ways to leverage the continent's wealth of innovative and creative talent. IP, intellectual property, of course, is essential to stimulate innovation. This is because of the rising level of innovation, the rising level of intellectual property filings, and the rising value of intangibles that make an important part of our market. Again, I am struck by the potential that I see in front of me.
During the 2 years that Malawi has held the chairmanship, ARIPO has registered a number of achievements relating to registration of intellectual property rights, awareness creation, capacity building, information and communication technology, and international cooperation. Less than 2 weeks ago, I was privileged to participate at the Conference on Intellectual Property, Innovation and Value Addition for Business Competitiveness and Sustainable Development in Africa, that these 3 organizations signed in Geneva earlier this year. As a result of this agreement, the 3 organizations are now able to work more collaboratively in promoting intellectual property. This collaboration is a commendable development which I believe will help in accelerating the realization of the benefits associated with the intellectual property system in Africa. The second reason I am highlighting the Harare Conference is that the theme of that conference, in my view, underlines the reason for which ARIPO was founded.
At the same time, the chairperson of ARIPO Administrative Council reported progress in the midst of challenges. The newly elected chairperson of the regional group used the occasion to call for continuous support of the counterparts for better achievements in the organization.
It is a great honor for me to inform you that our country has now been elected to steer the affairs of the administrative councils of the 19 member states of ARIPO for the next 2 years. This preferment has come in a time when our government has now committed itself to fully supporting Nigeria Intellectual Property Office and its development plan of 2017 that is in line with the government-owned development plan as carved in the PAPD. LIPO, like all institutions of national government, has been through challenges. But again, life is an everyday challenge. Despite, we are steadily growing. We are pleased with the efforts we have made and are challenged with the commercial exploitation and enforcement mechanisms we are not weary. As chair of the Administrative Council of Member States, we believe that your unwavering and unbending support to our chairmanship will steer us in the right direction to spur IP to another level, premise on what we have solidified as our gains as Administrative Council members, and foster strong relationships with ARIPO and member states.
To this development now, the Executive Director of the National Youth Movement for Transparent Election, Eddie Jawolo, said more needs to be done by government of Liberia in managing the affairs of the country. Speaking on a local radio talk show in response to the Safe Perception Survey Quality of Government report, Mr. Jawolo underscored that 82% of respondents think that the country is going the wrong direction, while 15% think the country is going the right direction. In 2018, the survey findings In the 2018 service funding, 64% of respondents said the country was going in the wrong direction. The survey targeted a sample size of 3,600 registered voters from across 46 electoral districts within the 15 counties of Liberia.
Very poor in managing the economy. 81% think retail the government performing managing health services are very poor. Fighting corruption is very poor. So at the general level, the report is not really good for the management of the country. But it's not just looking at only the executive, there are also questions that focus on the legislators. And the report respondent also think that the legislature are not doing well in terms of reaching out to the people. They are not meeting, they are not discussing, and not many people exactly know what their lawmakers are doing. In terms of the opposition, there were questions on what people think about the way the opposition engage in the government. 65% of the respondents think they are satisfied with the way the opposition political parties are holding the government accountable to deliver services and promises are made to an election. So all these are some of the issues that came out from you. Most of the people who spoke to, they complain about no job, they complain about inflation, they complain about the high prices, they complain about the poor health services, they complain about the educational system. So we were really looking at the management, how well is the CDC-led government managing the country, how people see that. And I also think, remember, that the government need to do more to educate people on what it's doing. I mean, this is a perception survey. It may not be reality, but the perception that people are not getting to understand exactly what is government doing. The government need to improve communication. They need to regularly engage Liberia on what it's doing, what are the challenges, and what it's doing to mitigate some of the challenges. The president had to speak out to Liberian people to talk about some of the plans, some of the things he wanted to do to make sure that we can stabilize the economy. It's because the economy for us that contributed to the way people responded to some of the questions. I mean, people were even asking some of the questions. Also, people were even asking whether there was anything worse than what we're asking. So people are really not satisfied. People are angry. And what the government can take the report in good faith, and we all can see how we can work to make it work better.
Well, over now to the Ministry of Finance, where the government of Liberia and the International Fund for Agricultural Development have signed a 2-year financing agreement to support the proposed agenda for prosperity and development. The financial instrument includes a $23 million agreement towards the agriculture sector and 3 crops extension project, additional financing in the tune of $9 million United States dollars. The $9 million USD will support the rehabilitation of rural roads in the project area of Nimba. According to the country manager of the Agricultural Development Organization, the fund will boost the agriculture sector to help local farmers engage in effective and efficient productions in the country.
If real he or she must step up to eradicate sexual gender-based violence, now is the time that we need to work along with civil society actors to end this nightmare in our country. As we launch this National Preventive Strategy on Sexual Gender-Based Violence, may I use the medium to call on all he or she and champions to join the fight to end the sexual gender-based violence, starting with the lady at the homes, in the schools, and in the community. To our relation leaders, civil society actors, and the media, the implementation of this document rests on all of us. If our mothers, daughters, sons, and national groups must live in a relatively violence-free society where their sexual human rights can be protected and promoted under international best practices, it is now time that we now consider and prioritize the incorporation and passionate incorporation for national ownership within our men. The incorporation and passionate incorporation for crisis, it is now time that we now consider and prioritize the incorporation and passionate incorporation for national ownership within our men. Incorporation for national ownership within our many programs. Within our many programs.
We sincerely apologize there for bringing you the wrong excerpt from the Ministry of Finance story. That was Thomas Johnson, the National Coordinator for the Heat for She Crusaders Liberia, calling for the empowerment of civil society actors in the fight against gender and sexual-based violence across the country. Over now to this development, one of the institutions involved in the development of cocoa and palm oil in the agriculture sector in Liberia is Solidaridad. The Liberian Palm and Agricultural Development Partners, we celebrate her 50th anniversary, said this year's celebration is in the spirit of a commitment in making Liberia a boastful in the cocoa and palm sector. Speaking at the occasion was the Director General of the National Bureau of Concession, Gregory Como.
Solidaridad has been very, very helpful in supporting that era, ensuring that we have a national interpretation of the RSPO principles to ensure that the expansion of the responsible expansion of this sector continues in a timely manner. We know that it's almost belated, but I think we have more ahead of us. We have one of the major players now leaving the Liberian market, and that's Sandari. But how can we encourage the other players to remain here? How can we encourage the local farmers? How can we add value to the likes of Sir Franklin and the other smallholders so that they can get greater value for their input? Now that this interpretation is going on, we're hoping that the RSPO certification triggers down to the smallholders as well, so as to be able to increase their value for their product, that they will be able to generate more. But specifically with what Solidaridad is doing here and what we'd like to see them do more is to help the smallholders to be able to add that value. We see these large industries, especially cocoa. If you hear the amount of money that's in this industry and how much come back to the farmers who put in way more, you're going to be discouraged to even want to put one more bit of energy in plenty cocoa. But we want to see how they can work with us to increase the benefit that come back to the farmers who contribute more to the sector than those who benefit in the larger portion.
Vice President Joel Howard Taylor has described the youth as the only drivers for the transformational changes to ensure the status quo is changed. According to a dispatch from Accra, Ghana, Phoebe Taylor explained that instead of just talking about changing the status quo, the youth are an indispensable part of what needs to be done to transform their respective communities. She said considering the different actors and the percentages of their contributions which will allow for rapid transformation, the one segment which has the greatest potential is the youth segment. She expressed the belief that achieving the SDGs, especially on the African continent, would require strong political will and building a collective partnership across social and economic political lines. Ahead of the 16 days of activism to end violence against women and girls, key government land ministries and agencies have been working around the clock to see the need to address abuses meted against women and girls in the country. Relative to the recent indictment that hangs over AFR personnel, Justice Minister Frank Musadin said the indictment has been prepared and the AFL personnel will be disrobed soon. Speaking at the validation program of the Spotlight Initiative, Councillor Dane said the Justice Ministry will also go after those who aided the perpetrator, including those who tried as much possible to compromise the case. According to him, they will do all they can to bring to book individuals who come to conflict with the law, as well as those who constantly abused and violated the rights of women and girls in the country. He encouraged parents and victims to report as much as possible violence and other forms of abuses against women and children in the country. Councillor Dane reaffirmed government's commitment to working collectively with other partners and relevant stakeholders to ensure all forms of violence across the country comes to an end. However, the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Prince Johnson III, warned people against stigmatizing an entire institution just for a crime committed by a single individual. He pointed out that the AFL has always been and will remain a professional and disciplinary sector of the country that will at all times abide by the rule of law. Major General Johnson bragged that the AFL since 2017 and up to present received series of awards nationally and elsewhere for being the most organized, disciplined and professional body within all sectors of Liberia. He noted they are committed to maintaining. He admonished the public not to generalize the issue when they arise. Well, over now to sports. The women national team of Liberia will on Sunday go against the female national team of Guinea in an international friendly at the Antoinette Tubman Stadium. The friendly match, according to the Liberia Football Association, is in preparation of the Africa Women's Cup of Nations 2020 that is expected to take place in Congo-Brazzaville. And elsewhere, the WAFU national team of Liberia, that's the Under 20 WAFU team, have arrived in Guinea for the national WAFU Under 20 competition in the West African country. Liberia reached the final of the last edition here in Liberia, but was defeated 2-1 by defending champions, the Gambia. And the National Football League will kick off on Wednesday at the Antoinette Tubman Stadium in other venues across the country. Defending champions LPRC Oilers will kick off their title defense against newly promoted side Nimba Kwado at the Sanikole Sports Page in Sanikole, Nimba County. Well, on that sporting development, that's how we go home on this weekend's edition of KMTV News Today. But before going, here once again are stories that made the headlines. Foreign Affairs Minister Gbesanga Finlay has stressed the need for African governments to formulate policies that will project and provide economic benefits for owners of intellectual properties in the region. Another indictment hangs over AFL personnel for alleged rape, but Chief Justice, that's Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, says the record straight. And Vice President Joel Howard Taylor has described young people as agents of positive change. In his post, the women national team of Liberia will on Sunday take on the female national team of Guinea in an international friendly at the Antoinette Tubman Stadium at 4 p.m. We'd like to say many thanks to you for always joining our news.